Hi everyone, Gig Coach Jake here, your go-to for gig economy news, tips, and tricks. And today I want to discuss the new DoorDash Pay Model, the good and the bad, the pros and the cons. With the changes always come both, and with everything. So first, let's talk about the bad and what really has not changed. There still is no transparency in our base pay. It's still a guesstimate, and there's no rhyme or reason from what I'm seeing. You'll see right here, there's a few examples. Base pay of $2.83, $2, and then $16.09. And the customer tip was $5 on that one. It was it was a card order, but I've had some orders that are bigger like that where the base pay was bigger on a much lower tip. Makes no sense. We should have transparency. When we agree to these contracts, these offers, we should know what we're making per mile. We have our distance there, and what we're making per time. We should get paid for the overall time. That way, when merchants take forever, or it's a longer drop off for whatever reason, which happens pretty often, right? That we get paid for that time and there's no issues. What are the things that we look for? Dollar per mile and dollar per hour, right? That's what used to be in some of these pay models. And I believe Postmates still has it. Uber Eats recently changed. They're all playing the monkey see, monkey do, and the copycat game. It's a copycat world, right? But you also see, look at the DoorDash pay in relation to the tips. That hasn't changed at all. My earnings before, and I was getting the $1 base pay, and now I'm getting a lot of $2. So yeah, it's a 100% increase, but it does not matter how far I drove or how long it took with the offer. Again, not really seeing any rhyme or reason. What I do know is that when offers are being rejected, that they are increasing the pay there. The fact that they can still see the tip up front, whether there's a tip, how much, allows them to manipulate the pay. And the fact that there is no transparency, we cannot hold them to a dollar per mile, a dollar or cents per time. Yes, we should have a guaranteed upfront amount based on their guesstimate, and then have any additional earnings like it used to be. I believe Postmates, if you had extra time, you got paid a certain amount. Granted, that was always screwed up. A lot of times you had to contact them to get paid for the right amount, but it was tracked and you were paid the fair amount for the time and mileage that you did for that offer. Another example, how many offers have you had that changed the location? You had to go drop off. It wouldn't be an issue for us if we knew we're getting paid for the time and the mileage. We wouldn't be playing this game of, nope, customer's going to have to reorder another order or they're screwed. Do you think that customer's really going to come back to the platform again? Heck no. So that in turn hurts all of us. Yeah, you're playing the game, but we really should have. Now, I know DoorDash watches these videos and they take in some consideration from what's said here. And I know that for a fact. I'm not going to tell why. We don't need to. Anyhow, we want mileage pay. You want my feedback? Here it is. We want pay for mileage, distance. We want pay for time. No guesstimates, no guessing games. Yes, it's awesome that you finally show us what we're making up front, and we don't have to worry about, is that what we're going to make in the end? We still have to worry about the post tip. That's a bunch of nonsense. With Instacart, there's customers going there adding tips and then pulling them back after the delivery just to get delivery drivers to pick them up. They know that. At some point, DoorDash customers are going to do the same thing. People like to game the system. Those that don't want a tip, eventually their word's going to get out and they're saying, oh, just add a tip and then you have up to 1 hour to go and take it back. How's that going to affect all of our pay? All I know is whatever we agree to up front, whether that tip changes or not, where they take it back, we should still get the same amount. You should not have any amount taken back. If you do, contact me, getcoachjake@gmail.com, and we'll look into that. We'll take care of that problem. Anyhow, that's what we really want, as well as the fair base pay, right? With fair minimum. $2 is a good start, but that's not where we want to be. Now, you notice, obviously, a lot of deliveries there to reach $41.18 with the DoorDash pay. If I did not cherry pick and find these higher cart offers and stuff like that, that would look more like $20 in base pay for the amount of deliveries I did, which is crap. We're relying on tips to make our money, which, what does that do? That in turn forces us to cherry pick. We then have to go and reject all the way down to acceptance ratings. Now I know that DoorDash has some type of idle mode implemented. This was tested in the beta testing and has actually gone live. I've experienced it myself, and I'm trying to collect a lot of data information on how and when. If you're experiencing what seems like a timeout and you're not getting offers for an extended period of time when it's busy and you should be, reset your app. Log in, sign out, try a number of different things. Go back to the home screen to reset it. You're essentially in what potentially, I won't say essentially, you're potentially in what they call idle mode and why you're not receiving any offers. Now, to show an example of what I mean with this, Lyft and Uber used to play this game in rideshare. In rideshare, we would take and have a separate device. That's why I've always had a tablet. I could then see the customer app and know whether I was on the map. I could see how many other drivers around me and gain a lot of other information that really helped my decisions, helped me position better and make more money. With that being said, we found out that they were actually taking us off the map where we stopped receiving ride requests. We didn't even show up as an available driver. I believe that DoorDash is doing something similar. That after so many rejects, or what they call, well, you must have been busy, you're driving. So legally they can put us in some type of idle mode and claim that it was because we were inactive on the app. But if we're going in and rejecting offers, that is not inactive. We're very active. When we missed the 85-second time period, we go into a pause period. That is essentially the idle mode. There should not be any timeout. This idle mode is a timeout. There's ways to reset it. I'm not sure how. Still looking into that. Again, DoorDash, if you're listening, my feedback, stop the crap. Quit trying to play games and manipulate people into being employees. Raise your pay us fair, and there won't be any of this nonsense. Great example was Amazon restaurants and their delivery drivers. Did you see them having much problems with them? No, they had very few problems. They just sucked at growing their Amazon restaurant side of things like you have. Anyhow, that's a lot of the bad stuff and the things that have not changed and things that we do need to see change for it to really be a great pay model and for me to be 100% on board. I'm always going to support the good things and acknowledge that and teach you all how to take full advantage and then make you aware of the negative, but not dwell on it. I'm not a dweller. It does nothing. It doesn't solve anything. It's a waste of energy and just gets me frustrated for nothing. I prefer to live my life happy with less frustration. So I don't dwell. I get rid of that negative crap, negative people, negative energy, and I move on. Just like I did with social media. You all seen how that went down. Anyhow, the good stuff. We can effectively cherry pick and see when these offers pay crap and when they pay very well. I just did a video and uploaded it yesterday. A lot of great information and 3 basic criteria to use. It's time, dollar amount, and distance to figure out what offers you accept or reject. Again, keeping it very simple. And then there's a link to a video, 30, 40, 50 rule. I'm going to do another video, a short one on that to kind of touch on the 30, 40, 50 rule and how to really apply that to your situation. But again, all those videos and resources are out there for you all to go succeed with the model as it is now. It's a pay increase. That is the good thing. We have more transparency up front in how much we're going to make. Now back to what I said earlier, there being a guaranteed amount. That guaranteed amount should be the estimate that they give us now. And then if and when we go over the estimated mileage and time, that's when we get the pay bump. We should get a pay bump on there. So again, DoorDash, if you're listening, you want my feedback, there it is. Pretty simple, clear cut, no games. That's all we want, all we should have. And these garbage offers, I'm going to continue to push for everyone to keep rejecting them because it makes absolutely no sense. Do you really think someone's going to make a good living and be sustainable at $2, $3, and $4 an offer? Yeah, you can use the excuse that, oh, you have the occasional good one there. Now, Dashers, all those listening, I want to flip it on you. And a lot of you complained and whined about the guaranteed minimums that they had before, the $5, $6. For some of you that had the $6 guaranteed minimum, you're not upset at all. You were always sitting pretty. At $3 an hour, at $6 minimum guarantee, you were making at least $18 an hour. So you're kind of pissed off right now seeing all these low offers before you used to see $6, as where the majority of people saw the as low as 450, I believe, and 425. It recently happened. But those people were pissed off. And I even said, I kept telling people, it's a good thing you have a safety net. You don't have to worry. There's not such high variance, right? Look at the offers I've shown. There's been as low as $2 and as high as $74. I completed an offer last week for $74 and it showed up front. Makes it a lot easier to cherry pick. I'm very happy I had my catering bags for that bad boy. I walked in with 2 catering bags, loaded up all that food. It was an upscale restaurant. It was in the middle of probably the worst rainstorm we've had in years. Load that stuff all quick and rolled out like a professional. Anyhow, made it easy having those bags and I don't have to worry about that rain getting anything wet. So those who don't like using bags, you want to make more money, think about making the investment. Back to the good and the bad and the DoorDash. So huge variance, right? $2 on up to 74, and I'm sure some people are seeing in the hundreds with offers in certain markets. That's absurd and that's awesome. Now, one of the reasons people always thought GrubHub was so much better is because they saw a lot of these higher paying offers, right? They thought, oh, GrubHub's just so great and all this and that. Let's see here. So a lot of these higher paying offers that people were seeing on GrubHub all the time, we're now seeing on DoorDash. Makes it a lot easier if your market's busy enough to effectively cherry pick and find these offers. So think about peak times. Peak lunch, at the beginning of the lunch is where you're going to see the majority of those big offers. And they're going to start to taper off. Why? People are going to go together, group together. At the beginning of the lunch period, they're all going to order. Think about the common times. Every market's a little bit different. Goes back to patterns, something I talk about a lot. Dinner time, it's going to vary a little bit. Find the patterns and the times in your area where you start to see a lot of those bigger offers. That's when you want to be more patient. You want to be pickier. I prefer to do it in rush hour. I don't want to be stuck in rush hour and have a high risk for an accident for low money. That's a great time to be pickier and really start to see what kind of data your market has. So if your area, if you're in a big city like mine and the rush hour traffic is absurd, be pickier. And then as it gets later, as that rush hour goes down, traffic gets lighter, I then decrease my minimums because I can now be more efficient and get more deliveries done per hour. So you always have to think about, at this time of day, how many deliveries per hour can I get done? Realistically, safely. And then base some of your decisions off that. If you can only get 2 per hour, you better be a lot pickier or you're not going to make crap for money, or you really have to rely on some good luck. I'm not the luckiest person. I have to rely on really good decisions and paying attention. A lot of good stuff though. So, little recap before I jump in the discussion with the live chat with everyone else for those that want to tune out. Guaranteed you missed some things. High variance with the new pay model. As low as $2 and as high as, who knows? I've seen as high as $74 and got paid that. Old pay model. You had a base minimum that created a safety net where you made at least $5 an offer. But most people were not making enough money for this to be sustainable. And DoorDash took advantage of that. There was too many low paying offers. The other thing, we always had to guess which ones were going to pay us more and then take the risk on a lot of these offers based on items and things like that, or bill total. How many times did you accept the one that was $100 or more on bill total information and you got 0 tip and the guarantee is what you got, $5, $6, $7? I can think of at least a half dozen times it happened to me. That sucks. It burned. You know what? It made me turn off DoorDash app and just do GrubHub, Postmates, and anything else but that because it left such a bad taste. I just wanted to not have that taste in my mouth, so I just moved on. Turning you off. You're done for the day, or this shift in and on to the next one. Again, pros and cons to everything. Those are some of the pros and the cons. And DoorDash, for my feedback, you heard it. We want transparency and consistency with pay, meaning we want to see what we're making up front and know what the dollar per mile, dollar per minute. That way we don't have to play on these guessing games. We see the distance right there, right? So I got 2.5 miles total. I then know based off the base pay, say the $2. That's what I want to see. Your base fare at $2. Then a mileage pay like GrubHub used to do. And then a small time pay. That way when we do incur more time, we get paid for it and we're not pissed off. It has to be a win-win for everyone. I understand that you're a business and you need to make profits, but this is crazy. We all know that once you go public in the stock market, you're all going to make a fortune. To quit ripping drivers off and trying to find the bare minimum where you can move them up. Look at GrubHub's old pay model. What they were doing before they started to decrease their margin. Before they started to decrease their margins and looking to sell out in the future. I still stand firmly behind that happening. With that being said, for all those of you that do not like the live chat, I'm going to jump in real quick for about 8-10 minutes. Have a great day, evening. Be safe. Have fun out there. Make smarter choices. Hashtag LowPayNoWay. Everyone else, let's jump to these comments here. Let's see what we got. So bear with me for a minute. I'm going to scroll up. Sure I missed some good stuff. Yes, and Nicole says base pay is all over the place. Doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I've been trying to, again, identify patterns and see what the consistencies are, and I haven't seen any. It's all over the place. I know they talk about desirability and things like that, but what determines desirability? We still not, I mean, that's their end of it. Does it mean desirability because nobody's freaking accepting the crap, so you got to pay us higher on it? No. Let's see. David says, have you heard of the contracted offer that gets sent can still be adjusted by the tip after delivery? I mean, the customer can reduce or add to the tip after too. I do know that there's the post-delivery tipping, so they can't add tip after. I do not know about them changing and reducing. If anyone has examples of them reducing your pay, getcoachjake@gmail.com. Send me that information. Definitely want to see that. Also, anyone else that's looking for more help or a group of positive, inspiring people networking and discussing all this stuff on the go, I have my Patreon group in the description. No obligation. You can go check it out. It's an extra resource for some of you to help you succeed and to really know what's going on day to day on the fly and to help you make better decisions. And you always have a chance to ask me any kind of questions and get quicker responses than you would in any of the comments here. It's hard to keep up with all the comments. Very humbled by the response, the views, and everything that I'm getting. I mean, it's incredible. My mission is to put the word out there and help educate you all on how to make more money and get around the crap these companies are doing. And that's happening. So I'm incredibly humbled and happy. And that's why I'm pushing more and more. You see me being more active lately. That's why. Gotta keep it rolling. Charles says they said that tip won't affect base pay. Wink, wink. I disagree. And you do too. I can tell by your emoji. I don't like that. Nicole says, I want to see the exact number amount plus tip before I accept. Period. Exactly. More transparency. Adam says these companies steal our tips. In a sense, I won't say that they steal the tips, but they do use our tips to fluctuate their base pay. You can take that forever, whatever you want. You can call it stealing tips. I'm not going to put a term to it. What I am going to say, it's not right. They should not be factoring our tips whatsoever within our base pay. Again, back to mileage and time and all that. That will eliminate the use of tips in the pay. So yeah, in a sense, you're right. Right, sure. Lisa says, unfortunately, when Lyft decided to pay when you start a trip, they cut drivers down to 33 cents a mile. Yeah, that's crazy. I thought 60 cents a mile is absurd, but 33 cents a mile? I don't know why and how people are even doing rideshare anymore. I could see huge events like Super Bowl Sunday. We're talking like the night before Thanksgiving, Halloween, times where you know you're going to make huge money. I'm talking like $50, $100, $200 rides. Other than that, quit wasting your time with rideshare. I don't get it, people. Just enabling that effed up system, that scheme, that Ponzi scheme. Eric says, problem is so many drivers and very few watch channels like these, and they're taking the $2 to $4 offers. Yeah, Eric, I know it sucks, but that is not sustainable. What you can bank on is those that are accepting $2 to $4 offers all the time. They can only do this for so long before they have to call it quits and go elsewhere. And that happens a lot. So I wouldn't stress too much on that. I would focus more on educating those in your market that are receptive to it. You're going to run into people like, oh, no, that's BS, or no, his channel's stupid. I'm not. That's fine. Let them keep going on and making less money. It's really not hurting you in the long run. Yes, it affects us all big picture, but over time, things are changing. I've seen a lot of momentum myself, and that's why I continue to do this work. So focus on the positive. Let those that are continuing to make those bad choices screw themselves. Make smarter choices yourself so you can increase your earnings and you do okay. And over time, we're all going to be all right. I guarantee that. I promise. Cheese and Rice says they cannot take money back. That's not right. When we clicked accept that as a contract for that delivery. Absolutely. If they take tip back, it should come out of DoorDash's pocket. Yep. You're 100% right. And I know GrubHub tried to do this recently. They even did it with one of mine. I contacted them right away and I was like, no, what you sent me on the incoming screen is what I should be paid. Please make the correction. And they did. Very quick. Forgiven and Blessed says, I heard they have whole month on DoorDash to add or pull a tip. I believe they have a whole month. No, hold on. That's not I believe. I know they have 30 days to add the tip post-delivery. They only have 1 hour to change the tip. So those that put in a tip before the delivery, they only have 1 hour after to change that, which is plenty of time for someone that's gaming the system to add a tip to get us to accept the delivery, knowing with this new system, maybe it's an old Dasher or something like that. Who knows? People game the system and just know that it's going to happen. They can then go pull it back. And how do I know it's going to happen? It's happening in Instacart a lot. And it's sad. They do a lot more work than we do. And to be screwed on their tip, that's messed up. Especially for people to be playing games. Don't mess with someone's livelihood. That's not right. Adrian says, I experienced it too last night. Now, I'm thinking you're talking about the timeouts, right? Correct? Nicole also says, oh, I've definitely been experiencing timeouts. Yes. Again, DoorDash, if you're listening, stop the crap of the antics. Are you trying to be GrubHub? Don't be GrubHub, man. Nobody likes GrubHub and their crap. And they're going to hit a lot of lawsuits over that stuff. Keep it up. We will find the patterns. We will be able to nail your butt to what they say, the cross. Yeah, stop it. We know what you're doing. We're going to figure it out. I guarantee. And how I know there's idle mode, I have proof of it with a conversation from another Dasher to DoorDash support. I also have in writing DoorDash chat support trying to convince and manipulate a Dasher into accepting more offers to see higher paying offers. Yeah, again, a lot of good evidence and building a good case. They better stop the nonsense. Anyone else has good stuff? Email me, getcoachjake@gmail.com. To keep that, the only way we could stop this crap is us. By our choices, and then pushing back on stuff like that. Eric says you want proper pay, then stay off DoorDash. If they have no drivers to take orders, they will have to change. Eric, I disagree. I make really good money. You know why? I work as my own boss. I work as a true independent contractor. The choices I make set me up for success, and my earnings show it. My average per delivery with DoorDash is like $15 or something crazy, and I'm making like $300 to $400 a week extra by adding that app in with everything else that I'm doing. So I have to disagree. Depends on the market, but in all reality, there was always a lot of these higher paying offers that I showed in the screen behind me in the markets. The only difference was those of you that were not really good at cherry picking rarely saw these offers. You were too busy accepting all the crap or busy on social media whining and crying about it instead of using the tools that you had to find higher paying offers. So if you're in your market and you're seeing these higher paying offers now, guess what? They've always been there. You just couldn't figure it out because you didn't see what the upfront amount was. Don't be pissed off at DoorDash. Be pissed off at yourself for not being better. Yeah, we could say screw DoorDash, stay off the app, period. Well, what about GrubHub? They're paying low and they're driving lower. What about Uber Eats, Postmates? And we talk about rideshare. We can talk about every gig company if we want to talk about staying off apps. What good does that do anybody? That does us no good. So I disagree with that statement entirely. And I'm done with that. That's like saying if you want proper pay to go to college and get yourself in debt for 10 years to get a real paying job or a regular job. No. Do what makes sense for you. Make smarter choices, set yourself up for success, no matter what that is. Just trying to make a joke in the light of everything. Holy cow. Larry Crow says, I did a Walmart delivery on the Walmart grocery app. Nowhere did it say what third-party delivery was. I found out it was Postmates when I left a tip on my PayPal card. I got a receipt, $7 Walmart grocery. Interesting. Contact me, Larry. I'd like to talk more about that and get more information on what you're talking about there. Yeah, Eric, we have the power by rejecting the crap and accepting the things that make sense for our situation while running multiple apps. Simple as that. Keep it simple, silly. Right? That acronym, KISS. Keep it silly. Keep it simple. Thomas says, I four-stop app and restart, but as a top dasher, I can end dash and restart dash and orders come in. Great tips and information. Those of you that are top dashers and you stop receiving orders and you know it's a busier time, you should either force close or end the dash and just start a new dash. Good stuff. Thank you for sharing that, Thomas. Great information. Try different things out. You feel like you're in idle mode? Contact DoorDash. Ask them. Record the conversation or do it in writing. Make sure you have it in chat support in writing somehow. But get information anyhow, any way that you can. David, positive thinking is the only way to go. If we just dwell on the negative, what good does that do anyone? Creates animosity, frustration, anger, anxiety, stress. That tells me cortisol levels are raising, fat's being stored, people are unhappy. No good. Focus on the positive. Be aware of the negative. Yeah, that's how I like to live. Arnold says $2 a mile. That's great. Now, anything too high in dollar per mile, just know that you're paying more money in taxes because you are a business owner. That's why I talk about the $1.50 to $2 per mile being the goals that you should set for yourself. Anyhow, I hate to cut it short. It's just after 10. I got to log in for my deliveries here, my dash, and my block on GrubHub. Busy day ahead. Thank you all for tuning in. Great stuff shared and information. I hope this helps some of you put your mind at ease and quit focusing on the negative crap and dwelling. Find the positive, make better choices, and you'll be okay. Have a great day, everyone, or evening for those who are watching the replay. Be safe out there on the roads. Have fun doing this work. I know I do. And as always, work smarter. #LowPayNoWay.